Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Time to Draw with Mr. Shaw. Today we're going to be drawing one of my favorite Pokemon, one of everyone's favorite Pokemon, Pikachu, the electric type. As always, to follow along, you just need something to draw on, piece of paper, and something to draw with. It can be a pencil, a marker, a crayon, whatever you have lying around. While we're drawing, if you get lost, if you get stuck, if I'm going too fast for you, feel free to pause the video. You could stop it, rewind it, try it again. If you have to start over, flip over your paper, try it again on the back. You can draw it small in the four corners, get a lot of practice in. Remember, yours might not look like mine. The more you practice, the better you get. So let's get started. We're going to start out with some really simple, small shapes to get Pikachu filled in here. Now Pikachu's head is kind of an odd shape. It's kind of a potato shape. So what I like to do is I like to start out just by lightly sketching in almost a square. Now I don't want to do this very hard because Pikachu's head is not actually a square, but this is a good way for me to start and make sure it doesn't get too long or too wide. So at the top of this, about halfway in my lightly sketched square here, I'm not sure if you can see it, I'm just going to do kind of a round shape at the top. And as I do that round shape, I'm going to darken it in a little bit. I don't want to go all the way around. It's just the top part of his head. Then Pikachu has some cheeks that kind of round out. So I'm just going to make a curved line here and some nice round cheeks. I'm going to bring it all the way down around his chin. And it's kind of a potato shape. I always think of Mr. or Mrs. Potato Head, kind of a squat version of that. Don't worry if you don't get that shape right exactly the first time. Every time I draw it, it's a little bit different. I think this one's pretty good, so I'm going to move along. Now here on the sides of his head, almost even with where we curved in for his cheeks here, we're going to draw two circles. I'm going to draw one all the way over here, and then another one all the way over here. Now Pikachu's eyes are mostly black anytime I've drawn them, but he has these big white shiny circles here and here. So go ahead and draw in those circles. Right now he looks cross-eyed. That would be pretty funny if we left it like that. Feel free to leave it like that if you want your Pikachu to be kind of goofy. But I'm going to color in the rest of this circle black. And you'll see it starts to look a little bit more like Pikachu with those black shiny eyes. That little white circle there makes them look kind of shiny. In fact, if you draw a person's eyes, if you look at yourself in the mirror, you might notice that white shiny spot as well. So now he has some nice eyes. Now we're going to do his nose. His nose should be in the middle of his face, a little higher up than you would normally draw a nose. And it's just a little teeny tiny triangle, just like that. So I'm going to draw a little tiny triangle. I'm going to clean up some of these loose edges with my eraser. You can do that if you have an eraser. If not, you don't have to. I tend to fiddle with my pictures as I'm drawing. And then we're going to draw his mouth. Now Pikachu's mouth is almost like a stretched out W, like a little lowercase w, just like this. I'm going to draw it kind of small. It ends a little bit before we get to where his eyes would be. And I think that looks pretty good. He's pretty cute so far. Now right here where his cheeks kind of bulb out, I'm going to draw about 3/4 of a circle. Not quite a whole circle. It's more like an oval, because even though those are circles on his cheeks, as they wrap around the sides of his head, they take on more of an oval shape. So my Pikachu's looking pretty good so far. He looks a little chubby. He looks well fed. I like that in my Pikachu. Now we're going to draw his ears. Now his ears are almost like long ovals with pointed ends. And I'm going to have one ear going diagonally up. I drew my Pikachu kind of close to the top of my paper, so I'm going to stretch his ear off to the side. If you want your ears to go straight up, that's totally fine. If you want one of your ears to go kind of sideways, I like to do this with my Pikachu. I think it makes him look a little cute. So I'm going to have it go all the way over here like this, and this one up here. Now the very tips of Pikachu's ears are black, so I'm going to draw a curved line on the edge here and color in that tip black. I'm going to do the same on this side. I'm going to color in that tip of the ear black. My Pikachu's looking pretty good so far. Now I'm going to draw his body. Now I could draw Pikachu standing up. He could be running. I could do a lot of different things. But I want my Pikachu just to be sitting down on the ground. So I'm going to draw kind of a pear shape. It's going to start out a little skinny at the top and then pretty quickly curve to almost an oval shape down here at the bottom. Now my Pikachu, like I said, he's looking a little chubby. He's been at home for a week. He's eating a lot of little Pika treats or whatever Pikachus eat. But if you look at it, it kind of looks like the fruit, a pear. Sometimes we refer to that as a pear shape. It's almost like an oval with two connecting curved lines up here at the top. So there's his basic body shape. Now I'm going to draw his bottom feet, his back legs. And I'm not going to draw his whole leg. I'm actually just going to draw kind of an oval for his foot. Now Pikachus are kind of shaped like rabbits and mice have those big flat back feet that help them hop and run. So I'm going to draw two big oval shapes for his two legs here and here. Now if you have to draw the whole oval like I did to get the shape kind of the size and shape you want it to be, that's okay. And then what I like to do is erase those lines inside of the foot after I'm done. Then I like to take away a little bit of that line down at the bottom, right where his feet meet his leg, and leave that little gap in here, and it'll make those feet look like they're connected to the rest of his body. Now up here at the top of these two ovals, I'm just going to draw two curved lines to make it look like he has three toes here, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. 1, 2 curved lines will give you 3 little toes. Now Pikachu needs his front feet, so I'm going to draw those as 2 curved lines coming down here and here with 4 little fingers at the bottom. Pikachu has 4 little fingers, so I'm just going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4 little fingers here. Then I'm going to draw another one like this with 1, 2, 3, 4 little fingers here. So now I've got my Pikachu, but he's missing his tail. So I want to draw his tail off to the side, and I'm going to start with just kind of a zigzag line. I'm going to zig it up, I'm going to zig it over, and I'm going to zig it up again like this. Then I'm going to draw the flat back of his tail. The very end of his tail is flat. And this time I'm going to zigzag it 3 times on my way back to where his tail started. So I'm going to do 1 zigzag, 2 zigzags, and then bring it in. And that looks like a nice little Pikachu tail. Now Pikachu's tail is a little darker where it touches the body, so I'm just going to shade that in a little bit. Now, those of you who are Pokemon experts might know that this would be a male a male Pikachu, a boy Pikachu, but they also come in female, and the female Pikachus are a little different. If you'd like to draw a girl Pikachu, you can do 2 little curves on the tail like that. It makes it look a little bit like a heart. For those of you who play the Pokemon games, you might recognize that this would be a female Pikachu instead of a male Pikachu. And I like the girl Pikachu, so I'm going to leave her just like that. And now I could give her a setting. I could give her a place to be. So I'm going to draw that horizon line. That's the line where the ground meets the sky. I'm going to draw that all the way across. And if I want her to be outside, I can draw little tufts of grass here and there. I could even have the bottom of a tree. I don't even have to draw the whole tree. I don't have to draw any leaves. I'm just going to draw the trunk of the tree. I'm going to have some pointy lines to look like the roots growing into the ground. And then I'm going to draw these curved lines going up the tree to give it the texture of that wood, that nice woody bark. If you want to have a branch going off to the side, you can. If you want to have a little hint of leaves coming down from the top of your paper, but you don't want the tree to be too big in your picture. It might make the Pikachu look enormous. So she's sitting here in the grass. Maybe she's, I don't know, having a picnic. So I could even draw a little picnic blanket here. I can give her something delicious to eat. I like to bring cheeseburgers on my picnic. Maybe she had a barbecue in her backyard, and now she's having a little picnic. So I'm drawing a burger here. Or maybe she went out to eat on her way to the park, and now she's having a picnic. So I could even have a little container of French fries. I'm definitely missing some nice fast food French fries this week. And if I'd like to, I can even put a pattern of squares on her little picnic blanket here. I always think of a checkered picnic blanket when I think of someone going out to have a picnic. I can color in every other square to make that checkerboard pattern. I think it'll make my picture look just a little bit more interesting. Anytime you can add a pattern or a texture to your picture, it just gives it a little bit more life, makes it seem a little bit more real. Makes it a bit more fun to look at. Now, if you were here for the last lesson, yesterday's lesson, we drew Bulbasaur, the plant type Pokemon. So I could actually, if I remember how to do that, I could actually sneak in a little Bulbasaur, maybe hiding behind the tree with those two triangle-shaped ears. You can draw anything else in your picture. If you want to draw people, maybe your Pikachu's not even outside. Maybe he or she is inside the house. Maybe they're inside of a building in outer space, underwater. Any place you could think of would make a great setting. So here's a little Bulbasaur peeking around the corner. Now I don't have to draw his whole body. I can just do little legs down here and just a little bit of that bulb sprout. Maybe he's excited to see. Maybe he's invited to the picnic. I'm not sure. Either way, finish up your Pikachu however you'd like. You can color it with crayons or markers. If you have paint at home, that's a great idea to use up some time in the afternoon. But as always, once you're finished drawing, take a picture of it, send it to Mr. Shaw on Class Dojo if you're an HJCS scholar. If not, and you'd like to comment below, let us know how your picture came out. Feel free to comment with any suggestions about something you'd like to learn later. And as always, stay safe, wash your hands, and I'll see you next time.